29 years after 1993 elections, NRC presidential candidate Tofa passes on. No crisis over budget between executive and legislature, plus correspondent chronicles performance of the oil and gas sector in 2021 and prospects for 2022. This and more you get on Panorama today. Welcome, I'm Bruce Aguele. All right, let's begin with the demise of Alhaji Bashir Osman Tofa, who was born in June 1947 at Yola Quarters, Kano. He had his early education at the Shahushi Primary School, Gwale Junior Secondary School, then Rumfa College for his senior certificate. He was the presidential candidate of the defunct National Republican Convention (NRC) in 1993, Chairman Citizens Forum Kano, astute businessman and philanthropist. He died at the age of 73. He is survived by a wife and 6 children. And reports reaching us says the remains of former presidential candidate of the defunct National Republican Convention, Alhaji Bashir Osman Tofa, have been laid to rest in Kano. The Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, we hear, was among the hundreds of people who attended the funeral prayer at the deceased residence. All right, we join our correspondent live now from Kano for an update. He's at the residence of the deceased. I'm talking about Abdullahi Mustafa, who is going to join us via telephone to give us an update on the mood. Abdullahi.
Thank you, Ruth. I'm now the residence of late Alhaji Bashir Osman Tofa and sympathize mourners, rather, who witnessed or took part in the funeral prayer and escorted the remains to the burial ground, condoling with the family and associates of the late elder statesman, and some are leaving the residence. And of course, the area, because of the position of Alhaji Bashir Tofa as leader of thought and elder statesman and founder of the Kano Concerned Citizens Initiative, the place is congested. It is a major street leading to the house that there is traffic developed due to the large number of people coming to condole with the family of the elder statesman.
Okay, Abdullahi, of course, we know that he has left a very huge legacy, and he's one man who, a lot of people will miss. But what is, have you been able to talk to some persons there, talking about those who have come to sympathize with the family? What would they miss about Alhaji Tofa?
Yes, it means that a large vacuum has been created by taxes, and that because in the last few years, late Bashir Tofa has been in the forefront of taking or leading all the concerned citizens in bringing solutions to socio-political and even religious problems developing Kano and the country at large. Because since the demise of elder statesmen like late Samasani Yusuf and Samasani late Ado Bayero, Alhaji Bashir Osman Tofa what's been seen as the pillar of hope for the people of Kano.
Yeah.
So it means that a great pillar has fallen because he was the one people are looking up to in finding solutions to many problems, social problems in the state and even in the northern part of the country. So it's not surprised that people are coming in large numbers to sympathize, and this is mostly what people are talking about, that it's a great loss that some who speak the truth to anyone, no matter the position, because his number one concern is the interest of the people, the nation, the state, and the people.
Yes.
So many people are talking about who will step into left by the great elder Tofa.
Abdullahi, of course, a huge vacuum has been created, but we pray that may his soul find rest. Thank you very much for your time. Abdullahi, thank you.
Yeah, so thank you very much.
All right. All right, and Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje is also saddened by the death of Alhaji Bashir Othman Tofa, former presidential candidate of the defunct National Republican Convention in June 12, 1993 election. Ganduje said the contributions of the deceased to Nigeria's democracy remains indelible. In a statement by the Commissioner for Information, Malam Mohammed Garba, the governor noted the sacrifices of Tofa, who started taking up leadership responsibilities at an early age when he was elected councillor in Tofa in his late 1920s, and remaining vibrant and dynamic up till the time of his death. He said, as a businessman, trader and philanthropist, Tofa touched the lives of many people, especially the downtrodden, and expressed the belief that the legacies of the deceased will be approximated for prosperity. All right, let's turn to other issues. The presidency has cleared the air regarding the widely viewed reported episode on Friday, talking about December 31st at the State House during the signing of the 2022 Budget and Finance Bill by President Muhammadu Buhari, specifically on the insertion in the 2022 Appropriation Act of 6,576 new schemes worth about 37 billion naira by the National Assembly. Let's hear the details from Elizabeth Omori.
A statement from the presidency says, while it is true that the president expressed disagreement with these and many of the other alterations, including the reduction in the provisions for many strategic capital projects to introduce empowerment projects, innumerable lies are being spread about the president being angry at, heard, blasted or lashed out at the parliament. This cannot be further from the truth. The statement quoted President of the Senate, Hamid Lawan, had after the budget signing ceremony, saying it was normal in the everyday executive-parliament relationship to have disagreements because executive and legislative judgments don't always have to be the same. The presidency notes that there are people who are trying to create a fiasco between the two arms of government on account of the budget, but added that they be disappointed as the executive and the Ninth National Assembly have since moved away from the wild, destructive political games of the past, conducting themselves in a way that puts national interest supreme in their decisions. It doubts if there is a patriotic citizen who wants to see the return of the operating environment engendered by the 8th Senate when an elected government was held in chains, held hostage to the desperate political ambitions of a clique, and the public denied needed services, including that which impinged on national security. The Constitution, the statement said, both arms of government are co-equal and at the same time independent and interdependent, adding that the rule of the game is cooperation, and the president, as a Democrat, fully accepts this. The presidency said the rationale for assenting to the 2022 Appropriation Act is to save value addictive projects, programs and policies, pointing out that although over 10,733 projects were reduced and 6,576 new projects introduced by the National Assembly, that tens of thousands of more in the 2022 budget, all of which, when effectively and efficiently implemented, will have significant developmental impact on the lives and livelihoods of ordinary Nigerians. President Buhari, the statement said, is a Democrat who deeply believes in the supremacy of the Constitution with its checks and balances across the three arms of government, and that legislation like the Appropriation Act and other money bills, the National Assembly has equal responsibility with the executive. It said if the president had declined assent to the 2022 Appropriation Bill, the National Assembly has powers to override the president's veto if they can drum up a 2 to 3 majority votes. This is the Constitution. Happily, this situation has not arisen during the tenure of Buhari's administration. An executive's relationship with the leadership of the 9th National Assembly is much improved over what happened with the 8th National Assembly. It is on account of his confidence in the strength of this excellent working relationship with Mr. President, has directed that an amendment budget proposal should be prepared and submitted to the National Assembly once they return from their recess. It is hoped that the National Assembly will carefully consider and approve the 2022 amendment budget proposals once presented to them in due course for the benefit of all Nigerians.
The Nigerian Labour Congress urges workers to remain productive and steadfast in nation building in 2022. A New Year message by the NLC President Ayuba Wappa also urges government at all levels to be more attuned to the needs of citizens, pay attention to the welfare of workers and the most vulnerable, as well as promotion of peace, rebuilding social and physical infrastructure, and the attainment of local government autonomy. The NLC added that it will resist every attempt to further increase electricity tariff and petroleum pump price in 2022. We hear the plans are underway to decongest the correctional facility in Abuja State and as well rehabilitate the inmates that would be granted state pardon. This was revealed by Governor David Umahi when heads of security agencies in the state paid him a New Year homage. Chika Okorie reports.
Counting some of the security challenges encountered last year, Governor David Umahi commended the security agencies for their show of gallantry and professionalism in carrying out their constitutional mandates and encouraged them to remain focused. He also emphasized the urgent need to decongest the correctional facility by granting some of the merited inmates state pardon.
The worst thing that happened to our nation is to mix politics with security. It's so terrible and so bad. But I call on the serving chiefs at the national level to be very courageous and at the state levels and deal with the matter the way it is. And I also said that we intend to decongest the prison as directed by Mr. President.
Representing the heads of the security agencies in the state, the Commissioner of Police, Aliu Galba, thanked the governor for his support, which has helped them to do their job with ease. He pledged that they will redouble their efforts in securing the lives and property of the citizenry.
We are also here today to give you that solidarity and loyalty with what we have been doing and will continue to do the very best we can.
Meanwhile, the governor also received some other groups that came to celebrate the Utah season with him at his country home, Umunaga Uburu, in Ohozra local government area of the state. In Abakaliki, Chika Okore, NTA News.
The Benue State Governor Samuel Otom has described the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike as a reliable friend who has stood for Benue in its trying moments. The governor stated this when Governor Wike paid him a solidarity visit at his residence in Makurdi. Charles Abba reports that he was accompanied by the former governor of Rivers State, Celestine Omeha, and former Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Austin Okpara.
Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State said the New Year visit is predicated on strengthening the bond between Benue and Rivers and to harp on her best to provide leadership that can pull Nigeria out of the present socio-economic and security challenges. He expressed concern over the hardship being faced by internally displaced persons in Benue and called on the relevant authorities to rise to the occasion. Governor Wike, who also harped on good governance, debunked insinuations making the rounds that he is nursing ambition for the presidency.
Without party, can you produce a president? You need a strong party to produce a president. For now, we are building our party. When the time for presidency comes, PDP leaders, governors will sit and look into ourselves and say, look, what do we do?
Governor Samuel Otom, who said Governor Wike always stand for equity, justice and fairness, appreciated him for keeping faith with Benue and his pivotal role in strengthening the People's Democratic Party.
For me, I remain committed in working with you.
Former Governor of Rivers State, Celestine Omeha, and the
be fair to all
And the
concerned.
SY Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Austin Okpara, expressed optimism that with right leadership, the daunting challenges of Nigeria would be history. That warm embrace by the duo is indicative of a fruitful interface and an invigorated synergy. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA.
All right, let's go on a break. We're back in a moment.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Welcome back. There is no cause for worry over the reported fire incident at the Port Harcourt refinery. Managing Director of Port Harcourt Refining Company, Ahmed Diko, disclosed this when he took journalists around the affected area. Let's hear more from Kinsley Amajiri.
A minor fire incident which occurred at the Port Harcourt refinery sparked concern in the social media about the state of the Port Harcourt refinery.
There was a small spark from the pump, and that made fire to start. And of course, you know, naphtha is just like petrol. It's highly volatile, highly flammable. And the fire quickly engulfed the discharging truck as well. In the end, the damage that really happened was just to the pump bay, where we have like 3 pumps, which we use for the discharge, and then the discharging truck itself.
For the authorities, Nigerians do not need to worry about the turnaround maintenance that is going on at this facility.
That bigger refinery is inside, and nothing is going to really interfere. Even though we are not operating, we still do have operations here and there in the refinery that we carry out. We have to run and produce our power, we have to produce our water, we have to produce other utilities. So it's not as if there is no activity going on. There are a lot of things that are still happening. We receive import PMS from our GTs, transfer it to our tanks, so that we can distribute around the zone for people to have.
At the moment, efforts are also being made to ensure that this truck is removed from the place it caught fire, while rehabilitation continues at the facility. From the Nigerian National Petroleum Company refinery here in Port Harcourt, I'm Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
The year 2021 saw the recovery of the oil and gas sector, even with impact on world economies occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. With some policy initiatives by the federal government, the outlook for 2022, they say, is looking brighter. In this report, Emmanuel Lene examines the performance of the oil and gas industry in 2021 and prospects for 2022.
The global oil and gas industry underperformed in 2020 as the twin shocks of oil price crash and COVID-19 pandemic adversely influenced demand and supply of crude oil in an unprecedented manner. The situation, however, changed in 2021 as, according to available data, some of the major downstream oil and gas firms in Nigeria jointly posted about 776.6 billion naira as revenue in the 9-month period of 2021, recording about 34% growth in the corresponding period of 2020.
Most of the expatriates, the COVID restricted them from coming in for their investment. Some, even the security arrangements stopped them. So it has been a downturn.
Nigeria is a member of the oil-producing countries, OPEC. And so whatever hits the international market equally affect Nigeria. And so production during the period under review, has been drastically hampered.
The recorded performance showed a recovery from the COVID-19 dented 2020. It was also responsible for 95% of foreign exchange earnings and 80% of budget revenues. With the passage of the Petroleum Industry Act, the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery and takeoff of NLNG Train 7, the sector is poised to attract the needed investment to reposition the industry in 2022.
After the passage of the PIB, you understand, we expect that the economy, that the oil and gas industry will take a different shape, because from 2022, the company remains a liberalized company.
It is expected that a conducive environment that will boost the growth of the sector will be experienced in 2022. In Port Harcourt, Emmanuel Lene, NTA News.
All right, let's bring you an update on COVID-19. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control has confirmed 573 new cases of the virus in the country. Lagos has the highest figure with 281 cases, Benue 202, Kano 61, Borno 20, Jigawa 5, while Edo and Oyo have 2 cases each. The report also includes a backlog of 20 cases reported for Borno State from 28th to 31st December 2021. 6 deaths reported for Borno State from 25th to 28th December 2021, as well as 61 cases reported for Kano State for 31st December and 2nd January 2022, and 6 states with 0 cases reported, which include Ekiti, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, Plateau, and Sokoto. Nigeria now has 243,450 confirmed cases, with 215,352 discharged and 3,039 deaths recorded. Our correspondent in Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajam, examines the impact of COVID-19 on major areas of national life. Let's see that.
Nigeria was among the first countries in sub-Saharan Africa to identify COVID-19 cases and has since implemented strict protocols and guidelines to check the spread of the pandemic. Nevertheless, many of the primary effects of COVID-19 crisis in Nigeria have largely been on the nation's economy, and Cross River State inclusive, as respondent testifies.
In time past, by this time of the year, the end of the year like this, everywhere on the road, hotels and bar, you have to decorate it, paint it, and make it clean.
Medical workers who have been in the forefront of assisting government to check the spread of this virus have their story to tell on its impact.
I see a federal establishment in this state I will rate it as improved much better, and the staff there had been more steady working than they were before. And 2021 had seen the highest number of doctors exiting out of the country.
The respondents are optimistic that Nigerians and the nation will weather the storm to forge ahead.
Greatness has nothing to do with age, size, or height, but it has a lot to do with attitude. We must redefine our attitude.
Respondent, however, appealed to people to align and support government policies and programs for a better and economically strong Nigeria. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
All right, let's bring you sports update.
Super Eagles interim coach Austin Iguavon has assured that all invited players would arrive in camp on Monday before their departure to Cameroon on Wednesday. 12 players observed their first training session on Sunday at the main bowl of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, under watch of Austin Iguavon and assistant coach Joseph Yobo.
The thing is, we just pray that no injury. And then when they come, these are boys that have played together for a while. And then blending shouldn't be any problem at all.
Meanwhile, in the Nigeria Professional Football League, Plateau United defeated Heartland FC by a 3-goal margin. The same was recorded by Wiki Tourist in their game against MFM. Kano Pillars had a 2-0 home victory over Eimba at the Sani Abacha Stadium in Kano, while the same scoreline was recorded in the match between Nasarawa United and the defending champions Aqua United. Enugu Rangers got the biggest win in match day 4, trashing Niger Tornadoes 4-0 at Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium. In today's fixtures, Abia Warriors will face 6th place Kwara United at the Enyimba Township Stadium, while Gombe United will be seeking their first win in the new season as they lock horns with Lobi Stars at Pantami Stadium. And finally, gymnastics coach Tony Asuko is open for a synergy between his club and Gymnastics Federation of Nigeria that will ensure that more gymnasts are produced in the country. The coach noted that his focus in 2022 is to ensure that they discover new talents through some of their grassroots initiatives and to nurture them to stardom. With Sports Update, Cynthia Ogun, NTA News.
And that's Panorama. Thank you very much for your time, but we need your support if we must win the fight against rape and rapists. I'm Ruth Aguela. Bye.